Yes. Okay. There are two parts to the principles and the symbols. We're going to just go through the principles at first. So the second principle, which is one of my favorites, and I have volunteered here, but I just have to say that, is that when I used to teach, I used to tell the children, this one is mine, Coochie Jackalia. And they said, well, what does it mean? Self-determination. You got to speak for yourself. You got to think for yourself. And unfortunately, many of us, not necessarily here, but as a people, do not think for ourselves, do not speak for ourselves. And here's a reading that I'd like to share with you where it says, you can decide who you are, who you want to be. No one else decides for you. People use this day of Kwanzaa to learn that help defines who they are. They learn ways to identify with their culture. People may learn special ways to braid hair, or they may study African American heroes. Is there anyone else that would like to jump on my little train and say something about Coochie Jackalia? Oh, yes, right, okay.
Well, like when somebody gets in trouble, and so there was somebody else who was in the trouble too,
Yeah.
and so then when they ask what they were doing, they try to blame somebody else,
Yeah.
but you have to speak up for yourself and
That's
what
right.
you do.
That is so true. And often children do not speak up for themselves if they have what? Fear. And that's what we must teach our children, to overcome that fear. In fact, my sister gave me this bracelet, fearless. We got to become fearless, but sensible. Our next principle is the third principle. Can I get a volunteer? Okay. Miss Amy Clay. I got my Bible.
Hello, everybody. The third principle for Kwanzaa is Ujima. And Ujima means collective work and responsibility. And also, the action associated with Ujima is helping others within the community. Everyone should work together to make a stronger community, and people should share their problems with one another. And people should let others share problems with them. And people should solve problems together. I'm going to stop there. What that means to me is oftentimes, a lot of times in our community, we're so self-contained. We keep things to ourselves. No one knows what's going on with you. They don't know how to counsel you. They don't know how to pray for you. They do not know your needs. That does not mean that you have to go out there and tell everybody your business. But things that affect how you live your life and life-changing decisions we need to share as a community. And since I've been doing this with Tale, and I did a little reading on Kwanzaa, and I'm beginning to understand how all these principles work together. You can't have Ujima without unity. You cannot do that if you do not trust the people in your community. Everyone has a different talent, and all of those have to work together. And that's
Thank
it.
you. Good job. Is there anyone that'd like to expound on that, say something?
I'd like to say a little bit more about that. In the text that she wrote, here, she says, collective work and responsibility, and the action is to help others within the community. Some of us here represent Toastmasters. We'll talk to you a little bit about that a little later on. One of the things that our particular club is helping to do is helping to bring the community up just a little bit more by demonstrating that through speech, being able to talk correctly, putting your words together and your thoughts correctly. And that's one way that we are moving towards helping the community. If we can help the community get a little bit better with communications, I think that we can communicate with each other a lot better and communicate with the outside world a lot better. So it really means a lot to me, Eugene.
Oh, good, let's start with him. Shout out to Toastmasters. Actually, this project is centered around Toastmasters, I'll tell you more about it later. Now, for our fourth principle, what is that principle, family? Jama. Mrs. Olawumorona is going to come up and talk to us about
Ujama, meaning cooperative economics. What do we mean by cooperative economics? Anyone? Yes, sir.
The economy who is cooperating with each other.
Okay, cooperating. Okay. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't look. Yes, sir.
Supporting your business in the community.
Supporting your businesses in the community. Correct. That is the action. Cooperative economics and supporting businesses that care about the community. Number one, we have a lot of people in our community, but do they care? Do they hire our young people? Do they see to it that we get better products, etc.? I had first wanted to do this particular one because I do own a business in the community. I have a small health food store on Cottage Grove. And Amy, she preferred the previous one, so I said, well, we'll switch. That's the one I really wanted. But in terms of that, I've had great support from the community and how that I have helped in terms of the community of keeping fresh products and also, too, hiring our young people. Our young people need a start before they go out. And always when I hire, I've hired from the high schools, and I also teach at Olive Harvey, I teach GED. And so a lot of times my students don't have the equivalent of the high school diploma. So I let them come and work with me. And the thing I tell them is, you're still a student at Olive Harvey. Until they ask, then you can tell them you're working on your high school. So in terms of training, being cooperative in the community, you can train our young people so that they can what? Go out and seek and fill other jobs. So that's why I enjoyed it. Thank you.
speak on that particular principle? Okay, let's go on to the next principle. I'm going to ask for a volunteer because we would like to get people involved, participating. Hi, would you like to come on?
Sure.
This is the fifth principle.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Friends. My name is
Hi.
I'm with Southeastern WAO Toastmasters, a friend of Dushan, Cassandra, Tale, Supo.
Everybody. We've adopted him. Make sure. Okay, you want to?
We got to brief me first.
Well, you can take it.
Okay,
if you like.
the fifth one is Nia, meaning a sense of purpose. We all have a purpose, so you know your purpose, you have to find what is your purpose, what you're here for in this life, what you're here to do, what is your gift, so you can share with the world. So that's a sense of purpose. You can be a teacher, you can be an artist, like Dushan, you can be a musician. That's your purpose. You touch people's lives with your gift, so that's a sense of purpose of who you are. And the action for that Nia is setting goals that benefit the community. Your purpose, sense of purpose, is not only community, it's throughout the world too. How your life, your purpose can impact other lives globally. So find your sense of purpose.
Thank you. Very nice. Anyone else would like to speak on purpose, Nia?
I that's one of my favorite principles.
Can you share your name? I know
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry. My name is Lorna Bush, and some of the people from Toastmasters know me.
She was one of our members.
Yes. No, when I think of Nia, I always think about when I was about 26 years old, and I remember praying and asking God to give me a purpose. I had finished school, I had a decent job, I was in a relationship with someone I eventually married, but there still seemed to be something missing. And it was very shortly after that that I had my daughter, and I realized that she was the answer to the prayer for purpose. And then since that time in my life, I realized that purpose, really connect to purpose when you connect to people, when you're taking care of somebody, your daughter, your children, your mother, somebody in the community. So, that's what I discovered about purpose.
Thank you. Jacqueline is one of our Toastmasters as well.
And the principle I have is Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa meaning is creativity. And the action is making the community better and more beautiful. Now, we're all creative in our own ways. So some of us, as Deshaun, musically inclined, we're creative in when we write speeches, when we do our speeches for Toastmasters that they'll talk about later. You're creative in writing your speeches. You're creative in art, music. So we have creativity all around us. And then when we share those gifts that we have for creativity with others, we're making the community a better place and more beautiful.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak on creativity? Yes.
I would. My name is Amber. I'm an invited guest of Bridget Scarborough and her cousin. And I certainly agree with creativity being inside of all of us and finding all of our ways. I'm learning a lot. I'm a kind of a new budding business owner. I'm a personal trainer. And what I'm learning about people is that no matter what your ability or at level, everyone has the ability to move. Everybody has something inside of you to, be that athlete, to be that person, to be stronger. And I'm finding that, creativity can come in something that people possibly may dread, and you have to find ways to be creative to make it accessible and important to the individual, to help them find the beauty and, and the love inside. I think you can find creativity. I see that you can find creativity in lots of different sources.
That's very lovely, Amber, because let's clap for her. Because as she said, we're all creative. We just have to